All right, before we get into today's episode, let's give some shout outs to some of our sponsors. And first up, if you need some parts for your motorcycle or riding gear and whatnot, you need to check out Old Bike Barn at oldbikebarn.com or on Instagram at Old Bike Barn. They got everything you need for your Harley or your vintage Japanese bike. They got a lot of the stuff you need that a lot of places don't carry or don't have, those rare parts and whatnot for your old Yamaha or Honda or whatnot. Check them out at oldbikebarn.com. They also have riding gear and their own line of knives and leather goods and things like that. So check them out and support, because Bear's a good dude and has been in the industry for a long time and is a passionate person and gives a fuck about the industry. So not a lot of people do. He's not one of the people that take advantage. He's one that always gives back. So they get my supreme respect, and so make sure you give them some patronage. Now, we all know summer's coming. With summer comes heat, comes humidity and grossness, and you don't want your dingus looking like a fucking rancid jungle log. You know what I mean? You know, like a fucking rancid swamp log. That's what I'm thinking of. So you need to check out manscaped.com. They got a razor called the Lawnmower 3.0 that allows you to, clean up your nether regions, and they have a special blade, so it's cut and scrape and abrasion resistant, so you will, have a better time with your more sensitive areas. Everything will be clean and spiffy and feel better, and you'll, your swamp log will actually look bigger as well. So, you know what I mean? Deforest that area and make your partner happy. Check them out, manscaped.com. Use the promo code BigTruth at checkout. You get 20% off your order and free shipping. They also got all kinds of other products, like a nose hair trimmer, and they got like ball deodorant and anti-chafing creams and all that stuff. So check them out, manscaped.com. Promo code BigTruth at checkout, 20% off your order and free shipping. If you're in the need, if you've been wondering about CBD oil, but it seems like a vast kind of area with a lot of people making CBD oil now, and you don't know what's legit and what's not, look no further. Cradle Lake Clear makes the most legit CBD oil out there that I've ever tried, and all good stuff. Check out their website, cradlelakeclear.com. Get more information on their products. I recommend the chocolate mint one. That will help you sleep like a baby. But they got products, whether you just need CBD oil to help you relax, or anxiety issues, or being able to sleep, like insomnia issues, or you just got a lot of inflammation going on, injuries, whatnot. You need to give Cradle Lake Clear a shot. Check them out, cradlelakeclear.com, and use the promo code BigTruth at checkout for 20% off your order there. So while we're talking about 20% off with promo codes, and the promo code BigTruth, you need to check out Omerta, one of the best streetwear products out there, best streetwear brands, I mean. You can check them out at omertamia.com, and they got whatever you need, whether it's T-shirts, hoodies, jackets, socks, fucking scarves, fucking whatever. Most of their stuff is handmade in the U.S. and on U.S.-made apparel, wherever possible. Not everything is possible to source American-made, unfortunately, but where possible, they do that. And I know they do all their screen printing in-house, so check them out, omertamia.com. Use the promo code BigTruth there. You will get 20% off your order. If you are in the unfortunate situation where you've been in a motorcycle accident, you need to check out lawtigers.com. Give them a call. Go to Facebook and type in Law Tigers in your state, and you'll get in contact with the most local regional office in your area. So, for example, if you got in a motorcycle accident and you live in Massachusetts, check out Law Tigers Massachusetts on Facebook. Just type that in the search and you'll find it. But if not, just go to lawtigers.com and they will get you sorted. It's a law firm specializing in motorcycle accidents, and it was founded for riders by riders. So check them out, lawtigers.com. Heavy is a clothing and lifestyle brand run by my man Zach Doom. And if you find things like, if you're into weird shit like the occult and serial killers and 60s psychedelia, fucking drugs, fucking motorcycles, choppers, period correct vans, like meaning the van that you'd ride around in, like show vans, boogie vans, whatever you want to call them. If you're in a bunch of shit like that, you will like what Heavy has to offer. So check them out at heavy.bigcartel.com or on Instagram at Heavy Clothing. They have apparel, they got antisocial products, and you check them out. There's always new shit rolling through, so you need to go back there frequently and keep checking them out because there's always new shit up there. Chop Cult. If you're into motobiking and building choppers and riding bikes and finding out what's going on in the world of all that stuff, you need to check out chopcult.com. They got an online message board. It's broken up by topics, so things are easy to find. They got an online swap meet where you can buy, sell, and trade parts. They got an online events page where you can find out what's going on for motorcycle-related events all across the world, broken up by state, and if you're looking in the country. They are just, they got a email list if you want information pushed to you like a daily digest type thing or a weekly digest, sorry. And best of all of this is absolutely free. They don't ask for your credit card or any of that crap, so just check them out, chopcult.com. You can't lose. There's a lot there. And they're on all the other social media simply at Chop Cult. If also you're looking for clothing or records and you happen to be in a heavy metal, punk rock, hardcore, things like that, and you're not familiar with Pitchfork, then you need to be. Check them out, pitchforkny.com. Well over a decade in this and catering to those industries in particular and very well represented in those industries. Pretty much any band you listen to, you'll see them rocking Pitchfork apparel. Pitchforkny.com. They also got a record label where they do this limited series called the Back to School series that have these 7 inches that have an East Coast band on one side, a West Coast band on the other, and they come on all these different colored limited edition vinyls. Bands that you know, like Rancid or Murphy's Law. And you're going to hear Jimmy G in a second here when we get into this episode. Sick of It All, The Eulogy, Count Time, all kinds of stuff. So check them out, pitchforkny.com and on Instagram at pitchforkny. And if you still got a couple bucks left in your pocket and you dig motorcycles or you like what we do here at Chopperhead, check out chopperhead.com, CHOPPAHEAD. We're a full brick and mortar, full service motorcycle shop. And also we got a whole area that's like a parts and apparel, a showroom and whatnot. So you need motorcycle gear, you need helmets, gloves, fucking whatever. Or you need some tires for your bike, you need oil change, you need a full custom chopper built for you, whatever it is, we can handle it. And like I said, there's a lot of the parts that we carry or can get and we don't have them online because it just gets crazy, man, keeping track of stock and putting shit in and then things are discontinued and coming and back and forth. I need a full-time guy for that I don't have yet. So if there's something you want for your motorcycle and you don't see it on our website, then give us a call or shoot us an email, 508-995-6764, or just email, just off our website, there's a way for you to email or just email truth@chopperhead.com. But yeah, so check us out. If you're in the area, come by the shop. Like I said, we're a brick and mortar shop. You can come in, try helmets on, do whatever the fuck you want. We're here. And we're going to have our first bike night of the season coming up in a couple weeks, Tuesday, May 4th. So if you're in the area for that, come on out. Free food, free beverages, and good times. So chopperhead.com, CHOPPAHEAD. Last but not least, check out bigtruthpodcast.com if you want more information on the show. And if you really want to help support the show, and you're not a company or anything, and you're just a listener that gets something out of this show and wants to make sure it keeps continuing on and growing, you can support at patreon.com/bigtruth. And there's 4 tiers that you can choose from to support from, and it's just something that I super appreciate. It's helping us pay the bills here and keep the show going and growing. So check us out at patreon.com/bigtruth. And enough of my rambling. Let's get into the new episode right now.
The Big sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have a liftoff.
Yes, once again, we have liftoff. I want to thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Big Truth Podcast. And my guest today it's his second appearance on the show, but there was a big event this weekend, and I had to have him on so we could talk about it a little further. The man behind the intro music, without any further ado, my man Jimmy G from Murphy's Law, New York City. What's happening, brother?
What's up, brother Truth? How you doing?
Good, man. What's happening? Are you recovering from this weekend?
I'm recovered. I didn't go. Well, I started early, and then I didn't go out on Sunday, which I wanted to. But I'm not getting any younger, so I need to take it easy.
Yeah, well, you went pretty hard Friday from word on the street.
Yeah, I hit it hard Friday. I stayed out for a full 2 days, and then I didn't want to, but it just happens that way when you're having a good time.
Absolutely. And
then the show was just crazy, as you knew.
Yeah, so for those that aren't familiar, there was a huge show in New York City in Tompkins Square Park this weekend. It was a benefit show that helped, for burn victims and fire department.
The New York City Fire Department Burn Center.
Yes, and so it was put on by B&B Productions, and it featured The Capturers, Blood Clot, Wisdom in Chains, Murphy's Law, and fucking Madball. And I don't think anyone anticipated the crowd that would actually have showed up. And it turned into more of a statement type protest, not a protest, in the usual sense and form. I think it was just people had enough and wanted everyone to know and showed up en masse, like way more than I think anyone thought people were going to show up. And
Well, I think if it was 8 months ago, we wouldn't have did it the way we wouldn't have did it. But now with the numbers that they apparently tell us, and the way things are, and the way we see things happening around us, and with families and friends, and it was just time. Enough's enough. Yeah.
No, exactly.
So,
unfortunately, 8 months ago, we were still trying to figure this out a little more in the science and
they're still trying to figure it out right now. I got the fucking news on right now. Fortunately, in our favor. Fortunately, why couldn't they say this on Thursday? But fortunately, today they're saying that it doesn't matter if you're 6 feet or 60 feet away from somebody, and they're also saying now that the mask thing is bullshit. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and the people that are complaining about us doing the event think that one day COVID is going to be gone. Well, just like the flu and the common cold aren't gone, COVID's not going to be gone. So stay in your fucking house and shut the fuck up. Stop busting our balls for living.
Yeah, I know. And so, and that's the thing, right? So what I find is that there's certain people that get pissed off if there's any kind of event or any kind of gathering that they don't agree with, or they're not, or not even if they don't agree with, it's just that they don't think should happen. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're going to be a super spreader. But if there's like a protest or some other type of shit, they don't care. They're like, oh yeah, we should do that, And there was a person who I saw who was criticizing the show, and then someone said, hey, no one was upset when there was like BLM protests or 420 protests. I think it was John Joseph said, there's all these other protests. This is a kind of protest. And they said, well, it's not fair because those other protests were social distance. I don't think that person went to or saw any footage of those other protests because there was no social distancing whatsoever. And I think people are just picking and choosing battles. At the end of the day, this was an event. It went on for hours in the park. It was sunny out. It was outdoors. People were I saw nothing but smiles all fucking day.
Yeah.
Which
is a healthy. It's healthy to be happy,
it's healthy to be outside.
The whole crowd were young, healthy kids having a good time, who aren't spreading COVID. No. It's old people with COPD. And then people say, well, they're going to go home and you know what? Everyone by now knows what to do. If you got a sick grandmother at home, you're not going to go from the show and kiss your sick grandmother on the mouth or sneeze on her face.
Yeah.
You got to be careful around elderly people and sick people.
Yeah.
But I think it's just people blow it out of control, and of course, I'm seeing the people that are talking shit the most aren't part of any of our stuff anyway. They're not signed onto our sites. They're not part of any of our events. They're not fans of the bands. They're not fans of anything. They're just chiming in to start shit and talk shit. And 98% of them aren't black, and they're talking about Black Lives Matter situations. They're not from an urban area where I'm looking out my fucking window. I'm looking at the projects. They're not. They're living in they're people posting from suburbia, and while their wives cook them dinner, or whatever. It's very frustrating and aggravating because you can't reach through the screen and punch them in the face yet.
Yeah, of course. But the thing about it is, like, at the end of the day, it's like people were there. You could choose to be at the show or not. You could choose to wear a mask or not. There was people with masks on. There was people with masks off. And no one was giving each other a hassle. Everyone was just fucking smiling. Like, I think people needed this more than any of us knew. You know what I mean? We all knew we needed something.
Absolutely.
But
people in our circle are definitely happy that the event happened. And our circle goes big. Our circle goes worldwide. And a lot of people are very happy that we did it. So good. Yeah. I just hope, and I'll be the optimist. I hope that in 2 weeks nobody does get sick. And I hope in 2 weeks that we are proven right.
Yeah.
Because then you're gonna watch me chime in, and it's so frustrating because they think that we need to sit and hunker down with our faces with muzzles on them until this thing goes away. It's never going to go away. It's a virus.
Yeah.
It's always going to mutate, just like the common flu and the common cold. But of course, first time in 100 years, magically, I'm starting to sound like Cousin Joe. First time in 100 years, magically, there have been no cases of the flu. Go figure that.
Yeah.
Maybe because they get $20,000 or $50,000 for a COVID case and $500 for a flu.
Yeah. Well, and there's so much to it. It's like we all know what's going on. You know what the deal is. And I just think right now we're in a weird point in society where, people are bored. People have been stuck home for a year, and they're just looking for shit to fucking argue about because there's nothing else going on in their lives because they're just stuck at home. And some people choose to be stuck at home, some people don't. But the people that are yelling the loudest are the people that are sequestering themselves. Either it's out of fear or they just got comfortable not doing nothing, or I don't know what it is. I can't even get into their heads. But, they say, like, people just got bored. They're not working. There's still there's shortages. People cannot find anyone to work in all kinds of industries. It's bananas. Like, there's help wanted.
Well, it's funny that they're saying that because people are getting unemployment, they're getting paid more than they get paid for a normal job. Well, if the money you're getting from unemployment is more than you got from a normal job, God bless you, stay home then, because you weren't getting paid good anyway. How the fuck are you going to make a living on what they're giving you for minimum wage? But see, funny enough, Congress gives themselves raises regularly.
Yeah.
These fucking people, and they're fucking hypocrites, and these fucking fake punk rock pussies are the first ones that are saying, why aren't they finding these people? Finding them? Oh, you're the same people that say, defund the police, want the police to write tickets to us.
Yeah.
Well,
they're
the same people that are bitching now, but we'll see pictures of them at the fucking at punk rock bowling in September when the virus will still exist.
Yeah.
Fucking joke, man. And the same people that say fuck the government now trust the government and Big Pharma to inject this fucking cocktail that they shook together in a hurry to shut everybody up. I'm not going to let my wool pull over my eyes. COVID definitely exists. We know that.
Yeah.
But I don't trust everything around it. I don't trust the government, and I don't trust fucking Big Pharma or the fucking or these big fucking companies that are telling us that to trust them. I don't trust these people. That's how they get rich.
Yeah. No, and I get it, and I think. I think you're like me. I find it particularly disappointing when you got these quote unquote punk rock people, especially these punk rock like icons, meaning people that have been around or in bands that have been around forever, are buying into the mainstream narrative and not questioning anything when Punk Rock 101 is quote unquote question authority. Like, what the fuck happened to that? Like I'm not. And the first thing is, if you say any of this stuff, oh, you're an anti-vaxxer or you're this or that or you're a conspiracy, you're like, no, dude, I'm just trying to figure out the story here. And what makes the most sense is if they want you to get something and take it into your body, and if you do that, you still need to wear a mask, you need to social distance still, and you still need to do all the other things. And they're even saying you can still transmit it with these vaccines. Like, what's the point of getting the fucking vaccine? I haven't seen the
they want to test because they want to test it on you.
Yeah.
Well, that's obviously what they're saying. Because you got the president of the United States who's a senile 80-year-old man. Can't even carry on a conversation like we are now without stumbling over words.
Yeah.
and he's getting the vaccine, but still wearing like a mask. So what is he telling everybody?
Yeah. Well, that's what they said.
They're right in your face. There's the guy that's supposed to be selling you the shit, and he's got the vaccine and he's still got a mask on.
Yeah. But yeah, so
I don't know, man. I know I'm pretty stupid and pretty stoned all the time, but I'm not a fool.
yeah, I know it's crazy, but and the thing is, so like but we're not going to solve anything here, and I think most of the people that listen to this are probably of a similar mindset or like side mindset, but. Man, let's talk about the show and how fucking awesome that was, dude. How good did it feel to get back out there? And not only that,
I think your listeners are huffing gasoline right now and fixing motorcycles. I hope.
Yeah. Or they're putting on Murphy's Law records or something, and the fucking. But so, dude, how did it feel to get back out there, man? And was.
Oh my God. Well, first of all, hungover, it was just like the old times, but it was running up on stage late or just in time, and getting on and then seeing that crowd. I first of all, I was like, oh shit. I swear to God, I was like, oh boy, we're in trouble. Because nobody had a mask on. I didn't know if, the whole crowd could have had masks on.
Yeah.
And then I would have been like, all right, now what are they going to say? They would have still had something to say. People, the glowing box that we have in our hands now and in front of our faces is the ultimate tool to make pussies brave. The things that these people say would never say it in front of our faces. It's easy to type the shit up with your fingers are really tough. But once I got out there, I was like, oh my God, there's a whole lot of people and nobody's got masks on. And I, in my smart ass way, I was like, all these kids were around me singing, spitting all around me. And I was like, well, if I didn't have it, I got it now.
Yeah.
And then I also said, if I die tomorrow for what I did today, fine. Because I'm tired of fucking sitting quiet and waiting and being depressed and waiting for what I've invested in my life for 38 years of being a punk rock singer and a hardcore singer to stop and be taken away from me and the government wait and watch my friends' restaurants and bars close and clubs close and no proof. And these smart asses are saying, well, science. Yeah, well, science. If you're going to listen to science, then the restaurants and the bars should still be open and people's businesses should be saved. And the government's not giving anybody any help with these restaurants or bars, but they're helping big corporations.
Yeah.
It gave them this virus, which is questionable where it came from, as we know, China. And if it's man-made or not, which I think it is, and I think they let it loose. Yeah. They've hidden so much bullshit about it. There's so much conspiracy about it, but there's also stuff that's right in front of your fucking face.
Absolutely.
And I'm not just talking about the mask and the virus, but it's just like it made the government, all governments, easy to fuck with us, and they're taking full advantage of it.
I think what happened is, even if you want to give the whole situation the benefit of the doubt, we didn't know what was coming. We didn't know how bad it was going to be at first. So everyone was on board with like, all right, man, we got to fucking take this serious. And we were showing videos of people just collapsing and dying on the streets in China and shit, which I don't think ever happened here. Everyone took it serious. And then little by little, we just saw all the fuckery, like the back and forth and the science changing every day. Oh, you need to wear a mask. Oh, maybe you don't need to wear a mask. Oh, we just told you didn't need to wear a mask so that there wouldn't be a big run on masks, so we can make sure first responders had masks. What? That was
now you got to now they're saying wear two. Then it was just saying wear two masks.
Yeah, and it's crazy. So it's what no one was saying during this whole time is what to do to stay healthy or live a healthy life or boost immune system.
Nothing.
You didn't see all that stuff. You just saw fear. And to me, that throws up a red flag because fear. It's the easiest way to control people is by ruling by fear and having them in a constant state of fear. And that's just what fucking happened. But even when. So just given the benefit of the doubt, they didn't know it was coming, say that, and they wanted to keep people safe, okay. And then once they saw that it didn't, it wasn't as bad as we thought, and yes, people do die, and I'm not saying anything or taking away from anyone who had COVID really bad with really bad effects or who had people die from it, but understand it's a super minority of people that got that. It's got a 99 point whatever % you want to argue about after that survival rate. But, we saw it wasn't as bad, but people don't want to backtrack and start releasing shit because I don't think that either they want to cover their own asses or there's an element of control that they don't want to give up. And then you see.
Absolutely. I think it's both 50-50 for sure.
Yeah. Because and then they're like, well, follow the models, blah, blah, blah. This and that. We got to do this. And I'm like, well, what about following Florida and fucking Texas? They're wide the fuck open. You know what I mean? Like,
So Florida, wide open.
Wide open.
Wide open.
And my buddy was out there like a few, maybe like a month ago, and he called me from out there, and he was like, dude, you wouldn't even believe it. Like, we're in clubs, and there's not one person with a mask, and everyone's inches from each other, drinking all night, and blah, blah, blah. He goes, it's fucking crazy. And it wasn't spring break or any of that shit. It was just a normal night in fucking Florida, you know what I mean? Like, with nothing going on. You would think if COVID was as bad as it really is brought out to be, that the death rates in Florida would be soaring, especially given the amount of old people that live there. It's not, you know what I mean? They're like in the middle of the list, You saw them running in the streets in fucking in Florida. Nobody said anything about that. There was crickets. What we know is certain groups of people can get away with murder, literally, and no one's going to say anything at this point in time in our world. Unfortunately, it's okay for color on color when they're shooting in the past month. How many little kids got shot? Where's Black Lives Matter then? Why don't they say anything for these children that are getting killed? But they want to take our legal guns away, but illegal guns can run rampant through the street. They're punishing citizens that want to do the right thing, no matter what race, creed, or color you are. You want to have a registered weapon in your home, especially at the time that they want to get rid of the police. Yeah. They want to take guns from you, and they get rid of the police. Yeah. It's insane. We live in wacko world right now, dude. I know.
New York City over the weekend, while everyone was concerned about a bunch of people having a good time, 31 people got shot over the weekend. 31.
That's crazy. Yeah. And guess what? There was
That's
not.
Just New York. Chicago is like World War II.
Yeah. And guess what? At this show with over, people want to give it over 2,000 people, they say, were at the show. There was not one single altercation. There was nothing but fucking smiles. No. And this is like with people dancing and everything. There was not one altercation. Nothing but smiles. You know what I mean? So
nobody wants to fight right now except for the dickheads that hide behind their computers.
Yeah. Well, they don't really want to fight. They just want to go behind their computers, but not have to really deal with it.
Yeah, that's their way. Their big statement at the world is they type something out and they think people are going to respect them.
Yeah. Well, it's virtue signaling is a big thing nowadays, and everyone wants to feel a little air of superiority by being the most vibrantly awoke person, but without being grounded in reality. That means nothing to. That's the thing. Is like there's dudes that are grounded in reality, and there's people that are just living a more digital online presence, and there's a big disconnect to the real world with a lot of those people, and I hope that it changes, and I hope they get back out in the world and not be so afraid of everything all the time, because I'm done with this bullshit, dude. There's no life in fear, dude. No life in fear, man.
That's a good one. That's like a bad ball record.
Yeah, but just be smart. You know what I mean? It's like you said earlier. Don't go breathe on your grandmother if you've just been around people, or your friend who has
common sense.
And
common sense. It's like if you had to call. It's like the fucking president. His big statement, that senile old fuck, is like, wash your hands. I'm like, you got to tell people to wash their hands, you moron.
Yeah.
Well, we got a career politician in our government now, so he's literally been in government for 50 years.
Yeah,
and done nothing.
Except the crime bill.
He's the only guy.
Research the crime bill and how awesome that is. I'm rolling my eyes as I say that. That was his big accomplishment, was the crime bill.
Kamala Harris too. They talk people of color. How many people of color did she put in jail with her anti-marijuana laws and shit? Yeah. It's laughable. He's the only guy that could go on a job for 50 years and do nothing and become the president.
Yeah. Well,
everyone else will get fired for doing what he does.
Yeah. Well, and that just shows you, so many people were just pissed off about Trump that they didn't care who got elected as long as it wasn't Trump, and that's who the Democratic Party was pushing was their career guy. And I think finally people are starting to be awoke to the fact that the Democratic Party is as corrupt as anything else. You know what I mean? And they had good candidates actually this time, and they fucking fucked them all over to put this fucking guy in. You know what I mean? And you know.
Well, holy shit, they're woke now. It's only 100 days in.
Yeah. Well, you know,
well, he might. I think they're hoping he's going to be dead soon enough, so Kamala could take over anyway. So it's just going to be another shit show. She hasn't even. She's in charge of this fucking circus at the border now, with all these poor children getting abused, literally.
Yeah.
And she hasn't visited the border yet. She's in charge of it.
Yeah.
Which is a fiasco. They're not helping children. What they're doing is funding these criminal organizations that are bringing these people here.
Yeah.
It's insane. They started a feeding frenzy for MS-13 and all these criminal organizations in Mexico and along the southern border. It's insane, dude. Just throwing kids over the fence.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's just a crazy time. And I think what's happening more than anything is that we don't have like a news source that we can go to that's balanced and objective. We're just getting fed what, a couple of people control a couple of different channels, you know what I mean? And that are tied to a couple parties. So if you are Republican, you watch a certain channel. If you're Democrat, you watch a certain channel, and they just spoon feed you news based on a narrative they want you to know. And, people that are just going by these narratives that they're being spoon fed on corporate controlled mainstream media, it's like they're not going to know any better because that's what they're getting fed. So it's just feeding into the big fucking fear factor, and it's I think it's got to get to a point where sooner or later this all fucking breaks. Like, because I can't see it sustaining.
It's gonna pop. Yep.
Yeah, and then all these people who are enjoying the benefits of like relatively easy times. Because right now, believe it or not, it's fucking easy times. That's why people have the time to argue about dumb, inane things. You're going to have to toughen the fuck up pretty quick, man, when fucking we got hard times, because hard times are coming. Like, there's no way. We can't continue like this without fucking something breaking down.
No.
Man.
Especially writing blank checks and throwing them at people and welcoming people in and throwing money at them and then not taking care of our own vets that are here homeless living in the streets, but taking care of people that come here illegally. And never mind how does it make the people feel that are spending all the money to come here legally and get in? And our ancestors that came here legally, it's just like it's just spitting in people's faces, fucking people over that worked hard to try to get things done right here. And it's getting worse. It seems to be getting worse and worse rather than better and better right now. And just gotta hang on tight and go for the ride, I guess, because it's gonna get nutty.
But in the thing,
what they're doing is they're letting more voters in for themselves. Is what it seems like they're doing. Also, how do you have voting without ID? How do you vote without showing your ID? You can't get a 6-pack of beer without showing identification. Never mind vote for in your own country. They don't want to see ID. That's not shady. That's shady. It's insane.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things, and it gets so wrapped up because then if you mention these things, they're going to say, "Oh, you're right wing," and it's like, no, you're like, I'm just trying to come at things with a common sense perspective. But the thing is, no one's really addressing right now is the vast fucking insane amount of craziness with the expansion of the homeless population of American citizens. Like, go to fucking Austin right now or Los Angeles or any of these cities like where there's just fucking massive tent cities fucking going on, dude. It looks like a
Queens now. My whole neighborhood's full of homeless people again. They're back. They never used to be here. Now you seeing people sleeping in the bus stops and stuff and everything over here again.
Yeah,
it's getting back to the way it was when I was younger in New York. And then you go on your way to go into the city. All of the businesses are empty and for rent and gone. And it's getting worse and worse.
I was going to say, because I haven't been to New York in about over a year since all this shit started, and going back into the Lower East Side, I was like, wow, it's starting to look back a lot more like it was in the 80s and shit and early 90s. It's starting to look a little more decayed back there. Like it was like, and like you said, a lot of places closed. It's sad, man. You just see so much property for sale or rent in New York City right now. It's like, and things boarded up and just graph everywhere.
The prices aren't going down. You can't get You can't get a single room apartment here for under $2,000 a month.
It's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's why it seems that they're letting it get to the point where if you got a mom and pop store, small business, anything like that, or you live in a small apartment or something, or your job is in a small place, it seems that they're pushing everyone out just so the rich can move in here, is what it seems. Only the people that can afford to live here are going to be left here.
Yeah. Yeah, so does it seem like people are coming back? Because I know there was an exodus out of the city. And
definitely not. People are not coming back because people can't afford to come back.
Yeah, yeah.
The only people that left, the rich people that had summer homes and stuff left here. But and if you look for rent, I look on Zillow for around my neighborhood in Astoria, Queens, like $2,500 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment. Who can afford that?
Yeah, that's insane.
You know, you want to buy a place. I'll look at a place now. Like the cheapest place you could find for 1 bedroom is like $500,000 or $600,000, and then you're paying a monthly fee of like $1,500, and then you're paying gas, electric, food. It's completely, you can't afford. None of us can afford that. You need to be in a tech job.
Yeah,
and that's what they want.
Yep, it's crazy, man. Well, one thing that people don't talk about, because a lot of people don't care, or they don't know that they don't see it as big of an issue as it is that during all this COVID, the numbers vary a little bit, but it's up to 40% of all U.S. small businesses are permanently out of business from this bullshit. Gone, dude. Like, that's insane, because those people had jobs or created jobs or created products or were neighborhood centered type places that took care of you better. And, at that time, while 40% of all small businesses in the U.S. are permanently closed, Amazon and fucking Walmart,
our music scene, all the clubs that our small bands play at, gone.
Yeah. Not only.
So how are we going to go back on tour?
Yeah, so many clubs are gone. Yeah, so much shit's gone, but all these big corporations are showing record profits, and they're taking more and more. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And these big companies are selling these injections. How much you think they're not giving that shit away? It's
Yeah, and
the rich get richer and the poor get fucked, dude. That's what it is. There's no middle class anymore. The middle class is gonna be poor.
Oh, there's definitely, it's not popular to say, but in some way, shape, or form, there's been definitely economic warfare declared on the middle class. There's no way to look at it there's no other way to look at it.
Well, there's the reset that they're talking about worldwide. The reset. They want to make everybody fucking broke, and then they tell us what to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard about the Great Reset that they're calling. It's all the governments working together to make everybody broke.
Yeah, that's great.
And they want us at home and write us our little checks, and just keep us afloat.
Yeah.
I'm not down with that.
No, hell no, dude. You need to love life and embrace life and be out in it, and not just be content with being a fucking little worm slinking around at home, under the foot of a fucking jackboot of a fucking government. You know what I mean? It's sad, man. You know what I mean? And fucking, but
it's like every punk rock song we ever heard is actually happening right now.
Yeah, I know.
All the crack songs that warned us about the government, we laughed and called them fucking, crack holes.
Yeah.
Now all those songs are like, secure your chairs and shit, out of view. It's like the government police on the street. All these songs that we listened to as kids, especially in England, that we thought were cool and you never thought would really happen.
Yeah,
it's happening.
Listen, old Dead Kennedys records, man. They talked about this shit. You know what I mean? And Bleed for Me, right? Go listen to that song. That's coming down the pipeline,
Police Truck, it's all a lot of the shit, a lot of the songs are it's coming true or is true right now.
Yeah.
So,
well, even more scary if you get on that road, go read 1984, and then you laugh at wow, this wasn't really that bad because compared to what we got going on nowadays, and when you were a kid, you read 1984 and you were terrified, right?
Holy shit, they're going to be watching us everywhere. They're watching us. And now they are.
I'll sign off on that. Can I get this? Can I get this app? Yeah, I'll sign off on any privacy rights.
Yeah, just click yes.
Yeah.
Just click yes, and we'll monitor everything you do. Yeah. We can say I could say Budweiser cooler right now, and I'll look at my phone later, and there'll be a Budweiser cooler on my phone.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sale.
It's crazy, yeah. So, you don't even have to be doing enough. It's crazy because it'll just pick it up ambiently if you're talking to your friend and your phone's not even on. You know what I mean? Or it's on, but it's not it's in silent mode or whatever. It's still listening. It's
always listening. Even with the batteries out, they say, because it's still got a little battery in it for the memory.
Oh, really? Yeah. Huh. I didn't know that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we quickly went down a crazy rabbit hole. But but it's true, and it's important stuff to hear. And whether you agree with it or not, or you're saying, "Oh, fuck these guys are talking about this shit again," just open your eyes a little bit and look at shit and question shit, and so many things become like, you're like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
But like you said,
thank God for motorcycles.
Absolutely. And we'll talk about that in a minute because I want to talk about your new bike. But yeah, just fucking, the crazy thing is, and remember one thing I heard in school that made sense is, and I never forgot this. It was the best lesson ever. I had a teacher, a professor once, he said, if something doesn't make sense, usually all you got to do is follow the money and then it'll start to make sense. And it's like you said, with these things, like people want to force you to take injections. You know how much they're charging the government for each one of those shots, and then how much your insurance company is getting charged, and this and that, and how many billions of dollars are being revenue are being generated from this. And it's not even a legally FDA approved thing yet, you know what I mean? And it's like, damn, dude, like you guys are worried about things that, in your body, and then you're not worried about this, and I'm not saying I'm anti-vaccine or any of that stuff, because I am. Like, I'm
definitely not anti. I'm not anti anything that's going to help you, but I don't trust. If you trust these big pharmacy companies that are just greedy companies,
You really
it's like the opiate addiction, the thing that's going on in our world right now. They caused it, and they still profit from people's death and misery.
And the crazy thing is, all you got to do is Google Pfizer and look at how many fucking lawsuits and fucking crazy things they got caught lying about and this and that. They're not a company they're looking out for their profit. They're not looking out for your well-being. And if there's a little part of it that happens to coincide, that's a happy coincidence, man. But at the end of the day, they are driven by profit, not by you being healthy. Because if people were really concerned about being healthy, they would have been, here's the things you can do to boost your immune system.
They'd be selling vitamins, not fucking pills and injections.
Absolutely. Now, but going back to the show, man, it was so uplifting, and it felt so good to be there. And it was like, even though we're listening to the hardest, most aggressive music, you know what I mean? Especially the Madball set or the Blood Clot set, Birth is always just always a good time, you know what I mean? But it was just all smiles, you know what I mean? And people were just fucking so excited and renewed and regenerated. And it was just such a sense of community, for lack of a better word. It was dude, it fucking recharged my batteries, dude. Even watching the videos, dude, I get choked up watching the videos of the show, never mind being there, you know what I mean? It was so fucking good. A lot of great
photos too. A lot of the kids that started on the hardcore scene are now great photographers, so they're definitely documenting it on photo in a great way.
Yeah,
you definitely can't say a bad thing was happening when you're looking at the pictures and you see how happy everyone is.
Absolutely. Yeah. People were there. There was families there with their kids. You know what I mean? And there's always a kid.
Then you'll get the frightened people that are going, they're killing everybody. They're ruining everything. Yeah. Okay.
I guarantee.
Just stay in your basement.
I guarantee you're not going to see a spike in the Lower East Side area of New York because of this. You know what I mean? More than
Sturgis was 400,000 people with Sturgis, and they said it was going to be a super spreader, and then nothing happened, and you never heard anything about it again.
Yeah. 400,000
people in Sturgis, I believe it was.
Yeah, it's a crazy number of people for sure. Yeah.
Now Laconia is about to happen too. Nobody's going to wear masks in Laconia. Bikers aren't stupid. We know that because we're bikers.
Well,
we're not stupid.
I think that got moved to September, I believe. I got to look, but
I was just looking at it last night. I don't know. I was still kind of shook from the show and stoned. but Sturgis happened, and there was this big thing about it, and then nothing happened. 500,000 people didn't die. Not even 20 people died. It was like nothing.
Or even Florida in spring break, it's just crazy, man. We just gotta look at things.
It's panic. It's nonstop panic, and they love that we're panicking because they could keep the muzzle on, shut up, and stay in your basement.
Yeah,
just like the president's done for his whole thing. So what is that? Has that guy been on TV 3 times in 100 days?
Yeah.
He doesn't even know where he is, that guy. It's unbelievable. And that's the guy that has the football with the coach to destroy the world.
Yep. I know
He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know the name of the guy with the suitcase. Did you see that thing on the news? It's unbelievable. It's embarrassing.
Well, there's a lot of crazy stuff with Biden. I cannot figure out for the life of me why they ran that guy. Like, even they wouldn't even have him debate much because he didn't even know. Like, when he was running, he thought he was running for re-election for Senate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't even. And then he thought he was running against George Bush. He kept saying Bush half the time.
Perfect. He's perfect because they did a pile of fucking things for him to sign, and he signed them all. They put something in front of him, he signs it.
Yeah.
He does what they tell him to do.
Of course, and that's really at the end of the day, he's the pundit. Chief pundit for the fucking Democratic Party, and is going to go along with whatever they want. So it's
So the Democratic Marxist Socialist Party, now they're trying to go against the Constitution, and they're trying to they're trying to make the whole. I can't. It's just insane. They're trying to take over.
Yeah. Well, I was talking.
It's bad enough that there's only two sides with our country, and now they're trying to make it one side.
Yeah.
Well, and right now that one side is fucking nuts.
Are you talking about where they're trying to bring 4 more Supreme Justices on? Is that what you're
they're trying to bring more Supreme Justice. They're trying to make DC a state now, which it's not supposed to be. It's just like all this stuff that goes against the way this country was founded.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people also will say that it's racist and this and that. If this country's so racist, why are people of color jumping over the fence to get in it right now? If it's such a terrible country.
Yeah.
And
the whole thing is like people just don't see that, but there's only 2 parties, both are corrupt, and one's always been glorified as like for the people, and it's really not. And I think that's becoming completely evident to everyone except the people that are diehard fucking party pundits, and unfortunately there's a lot of people from the punk rock scene that have become hardcore fucking Democratic Party pundits. Now, when I say this, don't put me in the fucking right. Like, I'm not saying that the Republicans are any better. We're just talking about these guys have been. We
don't like the government. We're hardcore punk rock guys. We don't like the government, and that's we're in the middle.
Yeah, and
we're the 1%.
And the thing is that like the Republicans were under fire with Trump, and now it's going to be the Democrats' turn because they're not better, and people don't like that when the focus gets turned on that. Like, it was easy to be mad at the bad orange man, but be bad at the bad fucking senile man because he's just as bad. You know what I mean? And the thing is they're doing shady shit under the guise of being so fucking morally fucking on and just, and they're just as shady as anybody else. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like they're
talking about systemic this, systemic that. Meanwhile, fucking our president has been the system for 50 years.
Yeah,
he has been within the system for 50 years.
The crime bill has put more people of color behind bars than anything else. So, and unless people forget, Joe Biden's also the same guy that in the 80s was running and was talking about he didn't want schools desegregated because he didn't want his kids going into like a jungle school or some shit like that. And I saw that video, and right when the elections were going on, that video got really whitewashed and you couldn't find it anymore. You know what I mean? Like
everything. They ask him they don't ask him any important questions. What's your favorite ice cream flavor? Of course, you said vanilla. It's like embarrassing. His junky, shady son that was doing the shady businesses with China. We have the other guy that's in Congress that was fucking a kind of spy.
Yeah,
a Chinese spy. It's like all this stuff going on, but it's like, okay, don't worry about it. But they're on the Democratic side.
Yeah.
And once again, we're not on either side. We just know that this is all bullshit. It's a power struggle right now. Who wants what?
We just pointed out bullshit, and one team's in the power now, and they've got more power than usual, and so it can't go completely unchecked because, like it or not, checks and balances work. So the fact that the Democrats have the legislative branch and the executive branch and are going after the judicial branch because it's the one thing they don't have. It's so hectic and shady. Like, no, like. Yeah. Fucking relax.
Yeah, it's right in your face, and everyone just sits back, eats their man on and shuts up.
Because politics is like football now. Like, oh, that's my team. Our team's winning. I want my team to win.
Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Nobody wins, man. With this game, nobody wins. We lose. We pay for it and we lose.
If you look at your if you look at American life in the 60s and you look at it now, like in the 60s, you could have a single family income, like, one parent working, supporting a family of four with a house and this and that. The level of taxation has increased so much that, now you could have both parents working, or it doesn't make sense to have two people like married because you get more money from the government if it's a single family and this and that, and a single parent household, and it's fucking crazy, like, and it's so out of control, and it's fucking sad, you know what I mean? And we're just fucking struggling to keep our heads afloat, and it's just they keep taking.
We're headed for trouble right now, dude. It's big time. He's saying he's promising so much shit that we can't afford. We're already in debt, and who are we in debt to?
I know, and
China.
People don't think about it, like when money just doesn't come out of thin air, and it kind of does now. We tell the Federal Reserve, hey, print us some more money, and they print us some more money.
Yeah.
But it's not free. It's like, okay, the Federal Reserve goes, okay, well, you wanted $1 billion in circulation. Here's your $1 billion. Now you owe us $1 billion plus interest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where do you think a lot of your federal income tax money is going? It's going to pay that fucking interest back. It's not going to fucking programs for this and that. It's just going to pay back that fucking interest. You know what I mean? To the Federal Reserve.
They don't want kids smarter. They want kids dumber. That's why they're keeping kids at home, dude. That's what they don't want people to be smarter. The dumber we are, the stronger they are.
Absolutely.
Boy, I feel great. I'm gonna have a drink.
Scared little slugs. Yeah, scared little slugs staying at home quivering. Like, ain't doing it. And I think things like this show happening this weekend have, reawoke some fucking spirit in people, and recharged and re-energized people, and I hope that keeps continuing. I hope other states or towns or cities like pick up on it and try and get stuff going. Let's fucking get back to living, man. Like this year's over. You know what I mean? We can't keep doing this. Like, you know what I mean? And fucking.
No, we can't. We got to move on. It's not going to go away. It's a virus. It's not. People seem to be talking like they think it's going to one day just be gone. There's going to be 0 cases. There's never going to be 0 cases of COVID.
Yeah.
That's just like there's never going to be 0 cases. Well, now magically there's 0 cases of the flu, but and the common cold. They haven't found the cure for the common cold. They haven't found the cure for the flu.
No.
It's a virus. It keeps changing. It keeps evolving. It doesn't want to die.
Yeah, and so just get over the fear of it, man, and just fucking live, and then fucking whatever's happening. Everyone's gonna die of something. And you know what I mean? Like, chances of you dying of COVID, if you're relatively healthy and young, is pretty fucking minimal. Like, if you're 70 and have emphysema, you need to be more careful, and you should get help to be more careful. I'm not saying fuck them, you know what I mean? I'm saying those are the people we should need to be concentrating on, and let everyone else just fucking live, right? Like, that's all.
Yeah. My mom is one of the most unhealthy people I know in a nursing home right now, and thanks to wonderful Governor Cuomo that put sick people into nursing homes, she got COVID and she survived it. If my mother could survive it, just about anybody can survive it.
Yeah,
She's bedridden, overweight, and has a bad heart, has stents in her heart, very bad shape. And I haven't seen her in a long time because of this whole thing, but that's another thing. That creep Cuomo, our governor, who had the hospital boat come here. They didn't put anybody in it. Had a military hospital put in at Central Park. Didn't put anybody in that. But he's putting sick COVID patients in nursing homes with the most sensitive people to get COVID. He put them with them and killed people, and then lied about how many people were getting it.
Yeah. Well, that's
to cover his ass while he creeped on women.
Yeah. Everything's fucking sketchy, man, and you can't. It's sad that you can't trust the official narrative in a lot of things, but you can't trust the official narrative on a lot of things, and just get used to that. And once you've digested that, and you start to look at the world a lot differently, and things become a lot clearer to you, and it's not an easy road because it gets sadder. You know what I mean? It's like, man, we're really getting fucked over. It's a sad thing. But fucking punk rock shit, fucking hardcore shit, total resistance to this fucking shit. You know what I mean?
This isn't the first time that the government's been doing shit like this either. Testing stuff on people and lying to people, and forget it, man. Unfortunately, in the end, the saddest thing is people of color, the ones that get used the worst and get used as pawns throughout all of this.
Yeah, look at the Tuskegee
and then they pit us against each other to make themselves stronger. Because God forbid people of color of everybody got together and instead of having the black vote and the other vote and this vote, we all got together as human beings and went against the government as its own enemy, they'd be done. We'd be in control.
Well, you know what it is. Everything right now is divide and conquer. That's why, you know, we're all fighting each other. You know what I mean? It's like you got the people that are, you know, left versus right versus woke versus whatever, and left, you know, and fucking Democrat, Republican, and fucking, you know, blah blah blah, and black and white, fucking whatever. Like they
got to segregate. They have us segregated.
Keep dividing.
They're controlling it.
If you got a divided up population that's fucking in fear and fucking getting used to staying home and fucking not you know, going out into the world, it's way easier to control everyone, right? But you know, dude, you know, it is what it is. You know, we could bring shit up and hopefully get people thinking, and then you know, but whatever. At the end of the day, dude, we got to get back to life. And, you know, like, I'm not saying put people who are at risk in sketchy situations.
That's why there's Cheetos and motorcycles.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And punk rock and fucking, you know, everything.
Exactly.
So, speaking of that, I posted on my Patreon earlier that, you know, I was going to have you on later tonight. And if anyone had any questions, and I know something we were talking about this weekend was that you got a new, you got new music coming, and one of our Jake was one of the Patreon subscribers, wanted to know when the new record was going to be out, and you know, if you have any more details about that.
We have one. We to complete the album right now. We have one more song that we were going to put on, but now, well, thanks to everything being shut down and the band being stuck, we actually wrote another 15 songs of hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
So we're going to record more stuff. So I'm going to keep that rolling, and we're also doing a reggae record now too. So we've separated the two styles of music. Yeah. That we were doing. So, you know, just because a lot of kids were saying that they didn't like the ska stuff and the reggae stuff, and a lot of other kids like that. So I'm going to have twice as many records sold and twice as much music. But we're also going forward to do the rest of this hardcore stuff. We may, if possible, if we could ever get an airplane, go out to Jamaica and record some of the reggae stuff. Nice. My friend's got a property out there, and there's a studio right in the grill that we can go to.
That's awesome.
Which would be cool. It would be just like Lansing. Yeah. But
so you got one song left. You know, one song left on the album, or and then you got 15 more songs to record after that.
15 more songs, but right now pressing plants are crawling. There's 20 pressing plants in America right now, and they're running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, from what I've been told.
Yeah,
and it's very hard to get a record pressed. Plus, we're doing it on our own. I'm paying for all of it to be put out. I'm not going to trust a label again.
Yeah.
Enough of our friends' own record stores and the internet. So between the internet and our friends' record stores, I'll be able to sell records. I don't need somebody sitting behind a desk lying to me, telling me how many records are being sold and peddling them out.
Yeah. So
that's what we're doing.
So you're doing your own label.
I hate to say label. Yeah. You know, the label is a dishonest entity that robs musicians. Basically, you know, we're doing it DIY. That's the way to say it. You know, we're doing it minor threat style.
Nice.
And that seems to work out for those guys. Ian seems to be pretty happy with his life. Yeah. So, you know, we're going to follow his lead and do our own records. And I'm trying. The hard thing is, I'm trying to get everything done in America. So everybody's been doing with this other company. I'm not going to bring up their name. And I don't want to press in Czechoslovakia. I want to press in the United States. I want to support our businesses here. Sure. I want to support the kids that work in you know, it's usually people in the music industry that work in pressing plants and places that make the album covers. And a lot of bands in our circle, which also shall be nameless, and it's killing me to not say names, but they deal with companies in Europe.
Yeah,
you know, they live pretty well in Europe, and I would much prefer the money be spent here in the States for our friends here. Those guys over there, they do pretty well. I know you've been over there. It's like they laugh at us over here, and they have a lot more to laugh at. But I'd rather keep the money where we live.
Sure. So, so you got to get the record, you get the last song, and then you're going to be in the queue for pressing. So you're more at the whim of like when the record could actually get pressed.
Yeah. So that was the next thing I'm going to say is I was looking to purchase my own. Well, as we know, my dick got broken, so I'm expecting some money from a lawsuit. So we were looking at, I was looking at a pressing machine for myself.
Nice.
So I could start pressing my own thing. Then I guess it would, I was looking to press my own records and other friends' records.
Yeah.
But it's pretty expensive, and it's a whole, you need a special place to do it. There's a lot of logistics to it.
I get it, yeah. But that'd be rad, man, if you owned your own plant, because, there's no shortage. Like you said, if there's all these plants are running 24 hours a day and they can't keep up, like the amount of people in the music scene, like you'd have no shortage of business, and people would be stoked to support you, and having you press the records, you know what I mean? And
yeah. And now it used to be you had to find an old machine and get the pressing machine from a company that failed or something like that. Now there's companies that are making new modern machines that are designed to run 24/7. And from what I was reading, that if you're running 24/7 for 6 months, the machine pays for itself. It's like companies will tell you anything to sell you something, but
of course,
you also need. You think motorcycles are complicated sometimes, but this thing is like, forget it. It's like a fucking Terminator monster. It's a lot of parts.
Yeah,
a lot of parts, a lot of technology.
Yeah, a lot of little fine moving parts that you got to keep well oiled.
A lot of stuff to take a break.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then if you're down, then it's not making money, and then it's costing money, and it's crazy. Yeah, but hopefully you buy a brand new machine. Yeah, hopefully you buy a brand new machine. You don't got to worry about it breaking down. You know what I mean? But you know how it goes.
If you look at it, it's like it looks like there's a lot of stuff that could break, even if it's new. Yeah. You have a boiler. You have to melt down the vinyl.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit, and you need to have people that know how to run it. So so I'm already telling myself it's going to be a pain in the dick to do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm sure it's not like easy to find people that have worked previously in record pressing plants to be like, hey man, I need you to come work at mine. It's not like it's not like a barista.
No, because you have to make an acetate. The acetate is on. They have to know how to do that without, because if you don't do it right, the record's not going to play right, and then you're really fucked.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm already scaring myself away from buying the machine just by talking to you.
Well, it's good you got to hash this shit around and really think about what you're getting into before you just jump in. You can't go there 3 in the morning hammered and be like, all right, let's make some records. You know what I mean?
I did that with a band, and I'm 38 years later, I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
Let's start a band for Goop. But the joke, and that's one of the songs on the new record. The Joke's on Me.
Nice.
It's about being. And the song that I'm waiting that I can't really seem to get right now is it's called "Return of the Killer Beers."
Nice.
So a lot of the stuff is returning to some of the stuff that people like with Murphy's Law, some of the fun stuff. But it's gonna be a cool record. Right? It's all hardcore punk stuff. It's nothing lame. I don't think. We'll find out.
Well, it's interesting that you're going to do a whole ska record, so you could not put ska stuff in the middle of the punk rock record. So you're like, fuck it, let's just write a whole ska record and then do that. Well, and
just go balls out on just doing reggae, traditional reggae, and ska music, and just do that. So the hardcore kids that don't like that shit, and there's plenty of them that don't like that. I don't blame them. They could just go away for that and get the hardcore record. It's nice to have the capability to do both.
And then, you got your own plant. You can make limited edition fucking craziness with like a gatefold double sleeve of the hardcore and the ska record and some collector shit and fucking shit like that, man.
But that's the next thing is the people that do the jackets are all booked up now too. So it's really hard to find. There's a lot of shit going on now. Everything with people that are saying they're not making any money. Then when the money comes up, they say they can't do it fast enough because of COVID.
Yeah.
So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of deal right now.
Well, a lot of things, man, just in business. Like, I own a bike shop, and trying to get some parts nowadays is so hard because the manufacturers were all shut down for like a year. And then, or like people that, were importing parts, you know what I mean? Like those things are getting stuck in ships and containers aren't getting unloaded and this and that. There's a lot of bullshit going on, man, that's, keeping people from being able to operate functionally. But, it's
Hey, speaking of that bike shop, I know a good theme song for that place. Remember that the other night?
Yeah.
Chop ahead, ride real fast and wind up dead. I can remember some of it.
Yeah. That was at like
Powered by vodka.
2 a.m. It was 10:30 at night, I think.
It was 10:30 at night. We weren't breaking the law.
Yeah.
Breaking the law.
But yeah, that was fun. Yeah, to the tune of Spider-Man. Yeah. Well, fucking dude, like I had another person on the Patreon, Jay Cerrito, asking who was asking if there's any more shows planned for Murphy's Law anytime soon.
Nope, no more shows.
No.
I'm not even kidding. This took me some thought to do. Yeah. And other bands were asked to do this the show also, and they said yes, and then they stepped out on it. That's when Madball stepped in. But no, I don't think. I think this was the statement. Now let's sit back. It was like the litmus test of how this is going to go.
Yeah. And
we stepped forward, took a chance, and we're going to see if. And I hope it not a chance with people's lives, as some schmucks might say, but we just took a chance to see if we get in trouble doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
And here we are. It turned out way better than it did, and we'll see in a week and a half if anybody gets sick or not.
Yeah.
At this point, there's there's a lot of therapies to take care of it. And the people that were there were very young. There was nobody, there was no sickly people in the front row jumping off the stage.
Yeah, yeah.
So. You got to be sensible about this and know that this is not going to go away. And we need to get on with our lives. We can't just sit at home and rot, literally.
Sure.
No pun much of a pun intended, but yeah.
Well, hopefully.
So no, there's no shows up and coming. Punk Rock Bowling's happened in fucking September with like 1 million bands for 3 days straight in Vegas. I mean, you think everybody's going to be? I don't know how they're going to handle that.
Funny thing is, a lot of those, some of the main bands that are playing have been like some of the bands that have been ardently against, that have been like pro COVID, fear mongering, stay home shit. Like
exactly
that have spoken out. Some probably have even spoken about some of the shows that have happened recently. So, but I wonder what kind of paychecks made them come out. You know what I mean? And I know everyone's saying, oh, by September everything's supposed to be better, and we got herd immunity and blah blah blah. But I don't know.
There's never going to be immunity for this. It's a virus. There's no one's immune to the flu. You're not going to be immune to COVID.
Well, they use the term herd immunity, meaning like, so many people are vaccinated, so it's not going to keep spreading and blah, blah, blah.
Well, that's how we figured. That's what we took the choice on and made the choice on our own free will. We decided that we're at that point now, and we're playing. That's why we played the show. If we thought it was dangerous, we wouldn't have done it.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're not a dick, and you're just, and it wasn't like you.
I'm a dick, but I'm not a murderer.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to get people sick on purpose for my own jollies.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't like the money was so good that like, fuck that, we're playing. We're gonna, you know what I mean? It wasn't like it wasn't about any of that. You guys were just.
Well, it's a benefit. It's a benefit for first responders that put their lives out for us. So there's a good cause involved, and it's not. It wasn't just us bringing people out again and us starting to make music again. It was also to take care of the firemen who take care of us.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And so hopefully by the time your vinyl comes out or the new record comes out, things are cleared up and you can tour and support that. You know what I mean? Because that's the only way to fucking.
That's another thing. A good point too is No Redeeming Social Value just did a record not too long ago. They did the record, it came out, and then it kind of went stale because they couldn't go on tour and and they couldn't tour the record. You need to go out and play the record to really have people get excited about it.
Absolutely.
So till things open up more, it's really not a good idea business wise to put a record out when no one can play the songs.
Yeah. Are you gonna release a single beforehand though, at least to get people get people?
No, that was with the other 15 songs. We're gonna put the album out and then put a series of 7 inches out because people really seem to like 7 inches lately too.
Okay, nice.
I mean, it's somebody just paid $10,000 for the Misfits first record. I don't want that to happen with our shit. That's why whenever I see on eBay someone selling a shirt for a lot of money, we'll make that shirt and sell it for what it should be sold for, and just to make the value, just to devalue that shirt,
Yeah.
And then still people try to sell shit for $300. The band doesn't get shit out of that.
No.
And it's probably from some fuck that I gave the shirt to for free, no less. Still.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, and you know what? Just as a plug, and this isn't obviously you asking, but deadcitymerch.com, man. There's so much Murphy's Law fucking cool fucking merch. You got to check it out. Not just Murphy's Law, like pretty much
Chiatera, everybody, no redeeming, and that's our guy. Big John Franco. He's a great guy.
Yeah. And if you wanted to get a shirt to support the show, they have that up for a limited time as well for the show last weekend.
Very limited time. There's not that much left of that. So I think Hoya asked for a double XL, and they had like 2 left. So hopefully maybe he'll print some. I think he should print some more just to keep it going, so people get what they want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also had
at the show.
we had a multi-camera. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, at the show itself, those shirts, like, they were gone by the time I even got there.
Yeah, when I got there, all the shirts were gone because people were asking me for shirts. Also, we had a multi-camera crew there that are editing it all together right now, and we're going to stream that, too, so people can see the show online in the safety of their homes if they didn't want to come to the show. So
absolutely. And I was sneaking, like, I was watching Sharky film, and I was looking at his monitor as he was filming, and it looked so fucking rad. You know what I mean? Like, that was such a great day, man. It was sunny, perfect day, 70 degrees. You know what I mean? Park was filled. People were just fucking smiles and having fun, and fucking, it was just like, man, this is living. This is what it's supposed to be. And I was so glad that to be there for that, because I think it'll be kind of a historic show. You know what I mean? In a way, it's one of those ones we'll all look back at and be like, damn.
Yeah, hopefully it happens in a positive way, which it was a positive show, and all for good reasons. And I think it was fine. It's just these fucking people that sit at home and critique stuff that they're not part of.
Yeah, and it's crazy. And it's to me, it's like, I would understand if those people critiqued everything the same way, but they pick and choose. Like, no, that's acceptable. Yeah. No, this isn't acceptable, but it's the same type of thing. And it's like, all right, well, why is one acceptable and one not? Because one is the more woke cause or what? I don't know. Like, when is not supporting fucking first responders a good thing? You know what I mean? Like, and fire people and burn centers, like, who could be against that, right? It's crazy, but I don't know. Where I am in a city where people shoot fire. Used to shoot firemen, and one of my good friends, this guy Nurfio, he got shot. It was an EMT. I mean, how do you shoot the people that are trying to save you? There's not very many bright people in this world. That's why they're shooting 5-year-old kids and 2-year-old kids right now. Because they're first of all terrible shots, and they're hiding while they're shooting, and little kids get killed. It's insane, dude. Crazy world. Crazy world. Yeah, you said it. So two of the escapes from this crazy world is good music and shows. The other is motorcycles, and I know you just got a new fucking rad fucking flathead fucking killer bike. What's up with that, man?
That is that's my it's a 47 frame and fork. And it's a 59G flathead, which is the circuit car motor.
Yep.
It's like the poor man's WR.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted one, and now I got one, and now I'm terrified of it. But because it's got the suicide clutch, and I'm not used to a suicide clutch, so I'm gonna downgrade to the rocker clutch, the old style rocker clutch, so I can engage and disengage the clutch.
Yeah.
But until I get comfortable with it, because it only has an old Harley back brake on it, doesn't have a front brake. And, it's made for the race of gentlemen, basically. And that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
In October, and hopefully not kill myself.
Yeah. I think you're going to have a lot more fun at the race of gentlemen on it than, it's gonna, I see the streets of Astoria being a little more of a challenge. You know what I mean? You're going to be so nimble and quick on that thing from just fucking dodging around the city, Well,
the good thing about it, here just popped up on to jump off of the motorcycles again. I'm looking at DMX's funeral procession. Everyone knows got masks on. Everyone's on motorcycles with no masks on. Everyone's in the street with no masks on. Nobody's talking shit about that.
Yeah.
But that's a rapper that was, we know what he did. But anyway, back to the motorcycle. I can't look at my computer anymore. It's a scary bike. It basically put in second gear and let it go, and it'll run a quarter mile. Yeah. Supposedly. We'll see.
Are you gonna?
It's nice.
Are you gonna go somewhere to practice racing and shit, or are you just gonna go?
I've been going to Mel's place. The guy who puts the Race of Gentlemen on, Yo Ghost. I've been going to his house, which is like motorcycle heaven. He's got more knuckleheads in his basement than we had knuckleheads at our show.
Yeah.
but I've been practicing there, and it's just that suicide clutch is it's just too. I want to be able to. The good thing about that bike is it got a title, because I was looking at another one that was a factory Harley race bike. It doesn't come with a title, badass bike, but I want to be able, to ride it around. I can throw a plate on it when I'm in Wildwood, and throw a headlight and a taillight on and rage around the Wildwood before the races. I'm only planning to do the grudge matches. I'm not going to be like a serious guy like those other guys that race all day. I just want to do a couple runs, and have fun with it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, fuck yeah.
Some guys take it to the next level. They wear the fucking period clothes and handlebar mustache and all that shit. I just want to jump on the bike and rage down the beach and laugh.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and
with the grudge matches, you can race cars and stuff too. So it's good. I could go against the car, and it'll be fun.
That, to me, that's always the funnest shit, is when you see that shit, like a fucking old bike racing an old hot rod and shit like that. That's the fucking rad shit to me. Like, I
got to do a run in my friend Petey's car. It was, I think it was a 42 coupe. Was it coupe? I don't know. It was a long time. It was one of the first ones that they had, and I did a run in the car. They were like, "Yeah, you want to do a run?" And I was like, "Yeah, cool." I thought I was going to get a ride in the car. They were like, "No, you're driving." I was like, "What?" So I was like, push this, don't do that, and go. And I get in the car, and it's a big fucking dumb old steering wheel, and the clutch was like way up.
Yeah.
And the whole windshield was covered in sand and salt. And I'm like, this fucking dude with half a cigar, I goes, "No, give me 30 looks." I'm laughing at him. I'm like, go. And it was fucking fun as hell.
Yeah, man.
And you're supposed to go back slow. And of course, I raced back. I raced both ways.
Yeah.
They weren't too happy about that.
Was it a 3 on the tree?
No, it was a shifter on the floor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool.
I think it was basically all those things you put in second gear and you go. That's the same thing with the bike. You put it in second gear and you go.
Yeah.
There's really no time to engage the clutch and grab. Never mind, and grab the shifter and go while you're on the sand. It's like, forget it.
Yeah, I gotta.
Mel's already getting me ready to shit my pants on the fucking thing.
Yeah, man. Well, dude, I can't wait to see, man. This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna try and make it out.
And her name's Clementine. The bike. I named her Clementine. She's so fucking orange. I had to call her something named after orange. I couldn't call her Mandarin. I had to call her Clementine.
Fucking. I just picked up a 41 Ford coupe, and I never had a 3 on the tree. You know what I mean? And so I was it was interesting, like, the guy had it parked in like a little shed behind a house and this and that, and I had to get it out, and I was like, trial by fire. I was like, well, I better learn right now. And you pick it up quick,
Yeah, no, kind of like the present.
Yeah, by the time I got home, it wasn't shifting up that was the issue. It was like taking the time and having the patience on the downshift to wait till you got slow. Like, it's not like you can just downshift
without bogging it. Yeah.
Yeah. Without like chirping it, the gears, and so, but yeah, that was an interesting thing, and getting some work going on that right now, because it's got wheel cylinders are stuck, and then finding parts for the luckily the 41 is like like a sought after, like like the wheels, or like the frames and all that, and people in the hot rod world.
There's a lot of repop stuff for that stuff now too. You could get that stuff.
Yeah,
that's why before this bike I was looking at an Indian, and an Indian race bike, and I was like, it's a beautiful bike, and it was a lot of money, and then it's a lot of money, and as you know better than anybody, it's also impossible to get fucking parts for them. So I was like, I want to get this bike's all together. It's a simple bike. I really wanted a proper Harley race bike, but I went for the G motor. It was all put together, and it was reasonably priced, so I jumped on it.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah, and you gotta. There's some places. There's a little kind of trading world, and there's like a bunch of dudes that like deal in the old Indian stuff, and there's a limited amount of repop stuff, but it's not nearly the amount of like stuff like that you can get for like a Harley. But if you did go the Indian, I could have got you connected to some guys that could have hooked you up, but like it doesn't have the same supply chains as vintage Harley.
No, it's all fucking expensive shit too. It's not cheap.
All
there's
shit,
tons
dude.
of.
The older you get, it's just like the more money it is. That's just how it is, dude. Yeah,
I always wanted a Crocker, and then now they're like $1 million now.
Yeah. Beautiful bike.
But when
sure.
I wanted, I wanted one in the '80s. I wanted one. When I first was looking at motorcycles when I was a kid, and then which I probably could have got one back then. But
absolutely.
now it's way out of reach now.
Yeah.
They're awesome bikes though.
80, even the 90s, like late 90s, you could still get knuckleheads for like $3,000. You know what I mean? Like no one give a shit. But not now.
Yeah, they were giving away flatheads.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I had a friend. It was the best because we used to go to this old the event, the Smokeout in North Carolina. The Horse Magazine used to put it on, and I had a friend who bought a flathead with a. It had the Cervicar tranny in it because it had the 3-speed and with reverse, and he bought it in Chicago for $3,000, the whole bike, and it was beautiful. Like it was all fucking. It was legit. Like it was all there. It wasn't like a chopper. It was like a fucking flathead that had been sitting in a barn and blah, blah, blah. Like it had all the original shit on it. And he rode that down from Chicago to North Carolina and rode it home. And, he bought it for $3,000, the week before he left, you know what I mean? And he was there and everyone was hammered. He was doing like reverse burnouts and shit, like in the mud and stuff. And it was fun as fuck, man. I wish I bought one back then too. Like, who would have known? Who would have known that Mel single-handedly fucked up the market for us all on fucking flatheads and shit?
I bust his balls with that all the time, dude. I tell him, you fucked it all up for everybody, dude. You're the man that made a fucking flathead 20 times more expensive than it used to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And those bikes are dummy bikes. They're so easy to work on. When I'm not familiar with the carburetor that much, but I looked online for the Linkert. I couldn't get it to idle right. So for a goof, I was like, hey, Google, how do I set idle on a Linkert? And it popped up, and I did it, and it idled perfectly.
Yeah,
that was unbelievable.
It's crazy, right? It's crazy because as like annoying and horrible as the internet can be, it's also like the sum of all man's knowledge is on there. For, like for the taking, you just got to look it up, and find it. And especially like YouTube, no matter what it is you want to do or try and do. Some motherfucker has done it and filmed it and wants to show you how he did it. You know what I mean? It's like, here you go.
I just watched the guy do an old guy. Sounds like he smokes a lot of cigarettes, and he actually responded to me. And he was doing the rocket clutch install, and he had this. It was fucked up because it's not a 2-minute job, and it was literally making me sleepy. The way he spoke was so relaxing, and I was like, dude, you explain things so great. But your voice is still relaxing.
Yeah,
and he sent me like a ha message back. It's cool to get a response too.
Yeah, man.
But it's all there, man.
It's there. I mean, some of it's bullshit and garbage. You got to weed through it and kind of do a little quality control on it. But, for the most part, it's there, but you got to be careful because, like, you know what I mean? There's some motherfuckers that'll mislead you or they just don't know and they do shit the dumb way and fucking they still film that and put it out too. Like, you know what I mean? So you got to just be careful out there.
Well, that can happen standing around drunk with your friends at any time too, and at any moment.
Yes, absolutely.
A lot of drunken decisions have been made in garages.
Yes, and
good and bad.
And no one is guilt free on that one for sure.
Yeah, and no one admits either.
Well, dude, what's up? What else is up, man? We talked about new stuff coming out. I was so stoked to see you this weekend, even beyond the show, man, just to see some of our fucking
friends. I was happy to see you too, brother.
Yeah, it was just good to fucking hanging out, man, and seeing people that you haven't seen in over a year, you know what I mean, that you used to see.
Of course, I'm seeing all my friends, and I get the drunk, aggravating punk chick aggravating me, but whatever. That's I could have worse things happen.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you guys have been
that's it. No kids, no wife, no kids. New motorcycle. Getting another motorcycle right now. I told you I was looking at that the Heritage Softail.
Yeah.
For an everyday bike, but I can't ride the bike around like that. So I might get that this week. I'm going to talk to the guy. I'm trying to knock him down on the price.
Nice.
It's already like ridiculously cheap. So
yeah,
and that's a reliable old man bike. Floorboards, big fat seat, saddle bags, and I could ride around. I could ride to Wildwood and go to the beach.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And you need anything?
We ain't gonna be able to do it forever.
No. You have to take a trip out here. I know Craig from Sick of It All wants to come out, man. You guys fucking link up and fucking take a ride down, dude. We'll have a good fucking Sunday.
What's he got? He's got like a dirt bike, though, right?
No, he's got a Triumph Tiger. It's like one of those kind of like adventure touring bikes. So it's highway and fucking off road.
Oh, nice.
So he's
Because I was looking at the Scrambler. I like the Scrambler.
the Triumph Scrambler. Yeah, it's cool. You can do a lot, you can do a lot with those. You know, it's weird because it's kind of a heavy bike. Like it's not the best off-road bike, the Scrambler, but
no, it's not, I wouldn't want to ride in the dirt. It's good for doing like fire roads and stuff like that.
Absolutely, I wouldn't take it on little trails. You know, and I'm sure you can, and I'm sure you can do a lot to it to make it more trail ready. But yeah, definitely like fire roads and dirt roads and stuff, it'd be fine on for sure. I don't know how.
Yeah, I had that monster BMW. That thing was. I don't know how guys did the Powered Dakar rally in that, but I had the Powered Dakar Classic, and that thing was a fucking horse, and it was heavy as fuck. I don't know how. And I watch old videos of guys raging those things, 10-gallon gas tank. Yeah. That's the one that I had the accident on.
Oh, is that the one? Did you have an accident on your pan shovel too?
No, I never crashed a pan shovel. That would have killed me. But and I was very comfortable on that bike. The Beamer was big. And, you know, I'm like 6 foot tall, and still at a light, I'd have to go on my tiptoes on that thing. And it had the big 10-gallon gas tank, and it had the roof bars all around. It was black and chrome. It was great. But one night, riding home, first time I started wearing a full face helmet, thank God, in the pouring rain, with 2 pounds of pot in my saddlebag. Guy runs a red light in Brooklyn, stops, sees me coming, it freezes. And the bike just wouldn't stop. It just kept going. And it wasn't tall, you know, it's a super tall bike, super hard to lay down. So I'm going to bail, and as soon as I'm going to bail, it made impact, and my whole left arm folded back and snapped backwards. Oof. I landed in the street. And, you know, I T-boned the car and landed in the street, and there I'm sitting, I can't get up. I got the flip face helmet. I flipped the helmet up. I'm spitting my fillings out, and my fingertip is touching my elbow backwards. And I'm freaking out, and at my feet, the bag broke. The 2 pounds of pot are sitting like at my feet.
Oh man! And so, this is before pot was as decriminalized as it is now. You know what I mean? Like it's 2 pounds. It's legal in New York now. But now go figure with your brother Jimmy here. Yeah. I'm in the ambulance. I already made friends. I'm screaming in pain. I already made friends with the firemen. So they're like, oh, here comes the cops. And they're like, oh, here they come. The firemen were great. Here comes the sergeant with the gold hat and the gold badge and everything, and the 2 cops behind him. And then he goes, Jimmy. I'm like, what? He goes, Jimmy, it's me. I go, officer. He goes, me, it's Matt. I'm like, Matt. And it was this cop I knew from a bar. I was like, I didn't know you were a cop. He goes, yeah, so all you do is talk about your fucking band. What do you want me to do with your shit? He gives the 2 pounds of pot to my brother in a detective's car, and I sold the 2 pounds of pot in Bellevue Hospital before I went in to get my X-rays. Yeah.
So that was probably the last day I ever said ACAB.
Yeah. That's fucking.
After that day,
that's a good Jimmy in New York story right there.
Yeah, Jimmy didn't have to go to jail. Thank God. Make friends with everybody. That's my lesson of the day.
Absolutely, and you know what? At the end of the day, you know, it's just better to be cool. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's always been a better thing to not get into trouble than to get in trouble.
Yeah. Now
listen to us. We sound like old guys. We're teaching kids good stuff now. Be good.
And you know, and I brought this up with other people just because I'm interested in this bike, and you know, you had that BMW. Have you? And we talked about the Triumph Scrambler. Have you seen that new Harley, the Pan America? I
think it's dumb.
Yeah, they're dipping their toes in that market. And it's just weird to me that they're coming in priced more than the BMWs when BMWs had that market on lock. Like, you can't come in to something like it.
You're not going to beat the GS. GS will blow that bike away, and that bike's a big, heavy pig. And it looks like a fucking retarded road glide. It's got that big dumb like shark face on it. I don't know. Harley Davidson fucked up years ago. They should have just stuck with, the 45, the flathead was a dirt bike for the military, basically.
Yeah.
They should have just kept going at it. Indian, whatever they are, Polaris, whatever the fuck they call them now. They are, with the FTR 1200, that bike is, that's like, if Evel Knievel was alive, they actually make an Evel Knievel. I saw an Evel Knievel 1, but that bike, Harley's not doing fucking dirt track racing. Indian is.
Yeah.
Why don't they go that route? Why? All the dumb decisions. Instead of making fucking push bikes for babies, they should be focusing on motorcycles.
I know, it's crazy, man. I don't know what's going on. I would love to sit in some of those like meetings, like of like the executive meetings, to be like, yeah, we're gonna, because it's like literally they killed the diner at the height of diner's popularity, right? Like whether you like the diner or not, like you can't say that it wasn't fucking phenomenally doing well for them. And it's like, well, no, let's kill that and do this, and then let's do an electric.
I mean, I think both you and I we both don't know anybody that doesn't like a diner.
Yeah,
that's a badass bike.
Yeah, but it's like, all right.
Only if you like Harley Davidson, you gotta like the diner. I don't think I know anybody who would say they don't. But of course, they ruin it. How did they fuck that up?
Yeah, and then
I guess do they not have computers in their offices? I don't get it.
And the only thing I can think of is maybe the used market was doing better than the new market for those, and then they don't like the used market. Of course, they want everyone buying new shit, because they're not making money on the used stuff except for service and parts and stuff. But yeah, I don't know what they're doing, man. But they seem.
Well, I don't understand why didn't they make with the FXRP? Everyone's taking the FXRP and getting those aftermarket parts. I don't understand why they didn't see that. Yeah. And just make all those aftermarket, start making all this custom aftermarket stuff instead of like fucking piggy banks and shit. Why don't they just make fucking cool motorcycle parts for their old bikes?
I know.
That guys are, you got Ted making all that stuff in Taiwan. Yeah. Harley could be making it in Milwaukee.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. What am I?
I think the thing is that we're bike guys. So, but I think unfortunately a lot of people that buy into the Harley brand are buying the piggy banks and the foibles and the fucking dog collars and the dumb shit rather than there's more people buying that shit than there are buying bikes. Maybe I don't know.
Ooh, they got dog collars?
Yeah, oh, dude. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to think of the most random shit. I guarantee you, if you Google it right now, they probably do have a Harley Davidson dog collar. I was just making shit up, but I wouldn't doubt it. You know what I mean?
They got it.
Yeah, of course they do. Yeah, you can go to the Harley dealer and buy a can opener and a fucking dog collar, but every part you want is not going to be in stock. You know what I mean? Unless it's like
you can't get clutch plates.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. The best is nowadays you go to a Harley dealer and you're like, hey, I need I need a clutch spring. You know what I mean? Or so, and they ask you the color of the bike. You know what I mean? Because they have to put all this shit into a computer instead of just going in the back and grabbing a fucking clutch spring. You know what I mean? Just fucking.
And then they have to order it anyway.
Yeah.
They got Harley Davidson Spike.
It'll be here in 7 days. It's like fuck. You know what I mean?
Spike Harley Davidson dog collar, $80.
Yeah, you can have that right now. Yeah, you can have that. Pink, they got a pink one. But yeah,
my dog can't ride a motorcycle though.
Yeah. But yeah, man, fuck, dude, it's fucking crazy. But yeah, it seems like they just been throwing darts at a dartboard lately. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm interested in that Pan America just to see, because I'm just interested. I haven't seen one in person. I've only seen the pictures. You know what I mean? But I'm interested in seeing.
They had the Buell. Buell was made. When they had Buell going, they had, what was it? Not the Achilles, the Xavier. They had some weird bike similar to that.
Yeah, that's true.
What was the one?
I forgot
the name of it. Now it's going to tell me.
Yeah, I know.
I get a computer right now.
You're like Ulysses? What is it? Like some weird shit?
Ulysses, that was it. That's it, the Ulysses.
Was it? Yeah.
With the Ulysses. And that was another thing. They jerked Buell. They had a good thing going with Buell. They should have kept that going.
But in hindsight too, it seems like that sport bike market died. Like you hardly see. I know there's some like diehards with that, but I'm not seeing the level of people out on sport bikes as I used to. Like when you go out on the road, like, and you would think because those things handle and fucking brake and fucking like. I don't mean break as in broken. I mean like they stop.
No, they run.
They run and they stop and they handle. You know what I mean? You would think there'd be more people out on them, but it's never been my thing. But it's like. You used to see a lot more people out, on them. It's just that trend has died down. But yeah, dude.
More Harley Davidsons or something like that. More fun bikes. Those bikes. Everybody I know that got a Ducati Monster crashed it.
Oh,
I know 6 guys that had them. 6 guys crashed.
Yeah.
Ducati's just scary.
Oh yeah. And
you got to be Italian in a leather outfit for that.
Yeah. You got to have. You got to have a lot of money too because you got to do those valve jobs and shit, and they're not cheap. And
it's got the chain top end on it, right? It runs on chains or some shit.
Yeah, just crazy shit.
It's some kind of dumb shit.
Yeah, some fucking Italian performance shit. You know what I mean? But
yep.
But yeah, well, fuck yeah, man. I mean, I know you don't have a lot of time tonight, so I don't want to keep you long. I just wanted to get an update of the band and talk about that show because it was such a monumental fucking event, dude. And our world going and our country going to shit. Yeah. that just popped up in the middle because But you know what? Because the show was really a response to that. You know what I mean? To all the craziness going on, and let's just get back to fucking living, dude, and like having shit.
Enough's enough.
Having shit that brings people together and brings fucking happiness to people. You know what I mean? And
but you got people just waiting for it to end. It's not going to end.
Yeah.
But people are dying. People are going to be dying every day. People die every day from all kinds of shit, and people are going to die from that now because it's a new thing. People die from the flu. In areas where there are coconut trees, there's a significant amount of people who die from coconuts falling on their head. It's just a thing. Are you going to cut down every coconut tree so there's no more coconut head trauma? I don't know. But I'm sure someone's fucking a hard hat.
Or hard hats for coconut fucking dwellers. You know what I mean? I don't know. That'll be the new charity. That'll be the new charity. We just donate hard hat to countries that grow coconuts. Fucking, I don't know. Fucking whatever, man. But fuck yeah. So at some time in the near future, or as soon as vinyl becomes available, there's going to be a new Murphy's Law record, and then sometime after that, there's going to be a new Murphy's Law ska and reggae record, and then after that, there's going to be about 5 to 7 inches that are going to have 15 new songs on them. After that, so
and the new record's called Medicated. John Jesse's doing the artwork. Yep, Medicated.
Nice. So, perfect. And so you got one song left to record for that, and then it's just off to wait for the pressers and
mastering and then pressing.
Yeah. Is there there's not a wait for mastering right now, is there? Like,
no. I'm trying to get the specific guy, Howie Weinberg, who does. He's a pretty
he's still doing it.
Guy. Yeah.
Howie Weinberg.
Yeah, sure. He moved to the West Coast. He did one or two of the albums, the last albums, a long time ago. I think he did Dedicated. I got to check. But he and I worked in the studio before, and he's a great guy. Yeah, and he's the best.
And he. I mean, if you ever had any records in the 80s or 90s, you know what I mean, and you looked at like any record noteworthy, like if you looked at the credits, like. Fucking mastered.
Yeah, he's done everybody.
He fucking mastered everything, man, everything. I know that name from just being a kid. I never met the guy, I don't think, but I just know it from being a kid.
Oh, he's a great guy.
And reading the notes, like I studied hardcore and punk and metal, like I studied it. You know what I mean? And I would read everything on every record. And Howie Weinberg fucking did like every phenomenal.
Yep, he's
record.
The man. He's still the man.
That's awesome.
Yep. All right, bro. I'm gonna get pizza and go to bed.
All right, buddy.
Two things I shouldn't do together. The one thing when you're on a diet, you should never eat pizza and go to bed. But I earned it this weekend.
Yeah, I don't. You don't seem like a big rule follower. You know what I mean? So I think you'd be all right. Survive.
Definitely not.
Unless they come out tomorrow. That might be the new thing. Is like to prevent COVID, you can't eat pizza right before you go to bed. That's the super spreader right there.
Yeah, I'd be done.
Dude, I mean, sometime we got to talk about the lack of good pizza in New York City now. Like, I know there's all the 99-cent slices everywhere, but man, like,
I got spots in my neighborhood, dude. Forget it.
Yeah, I'm just talking about Lower East Side. Like, there used to be good spots. Like, there's nothing.
Well, Lombardi's is still down there, and they make a consistent like Neapolitan pie. But around here by me, forget it, man. There's all different kinds of really good pizza.
Oh, I know.
Same kind, forget it. Cold oven pizza, regular greasy slice, like whatever. 24 hours I can get too.
Yeah, I've heard all about Amore, but I've never tried Amore. I got to get out there.
I'm not a big fan. It's overrated.
You
know what? We got to do a pizza. I'll take you on a pizza tour. Maybe we film that for Chophead. I'll take you on a New York City pizza tour.
We'll do that. We'll do that for the next. If I get a second season of Chophead TV going, we'll do a pizza tour, and we'll do it on. I'll bring an old bike, and you'll have your flatbed. You have your flathead, and we'll go around the city eating pizza like fucking jerk offs.
Pizza. See who shits their pants first.
Well, with pizza, like doesn't it have a more binding effect? Like
it binds you up, but then you're also mixing oil and cheese, dude. So you're basically creating a bomb.
Yeah. Big pizza bomb.
Yeah. And, the older we get, the less we can handle milk, too. So,
there you go.
It depends.
There's the name of a new Murphy's Law song, Pizza Bomb.
Pizza Bomb.
All right, brother. Well, I hope to see you, sooner than another year and a half, and we'll hopefully we get up soon, and let me know how shit's going with the record. And one of the things I'm trying to do with the podcast is for Patreon subscribers and stuff as a special feature is like give people exclusive like sneak peeks at songs and stuff. So if you have a song that you're gonna like release to the internet or something like that, like as like a preview or something, let me know if there's a way I can get some stuff and let some of these guys hear it ahead of time because they'd be stoked on it.
I'll have Felipe send you a bit of one of the songs tomorrow.
Fuck yeah, man. That'd be fucking rad. So if you're a Patreon subscriber, you get to look forward to that. If not, fuck you, because you're not supporting the show. I'm just kidding. You'll hear it when everyone else hears it. No, I'm just playing. Support.
It's going to take a long time, so you better become a Patreon. Join in.
Hey, but for real,
get the benefits.
So for Murphy's Law, Dead City, is that the only place where you have merch, or you got
That's the only place. That's our official merch. Anywhere else is fully shit.
All right, so I'll put that in the show notes. So if you want to get on some Murphy's Law merch, go there. But I mean, it's not just Murphy's Law. It's like you want a carnivore fucking retaliation T-shirt. Yeah, you can get that.
He's got a lot of good shit, and he's got no. He's the bass player of no redeeming social value. Yeah, so they got the records and stuff too. It's also DeadCityRecords.com and DeadCityMerch.com.
Nice.
Thanks for our truth. I love you, brother.
All right, love you, man. We'll talk soon.
Good night, guys.
All right, later.
Ever tried reading while jogging, cooking, or even juggling flaming torches? Yeah, it doesn't end well. But with audiobooks.com, you can conquer books without the circus act. Dive into over 450,000 titles, including more than 10,000 free ones. Get hooked on a bestseller, find your next obsession, or finally read that classic you've been avoiding since high school. And here's the inside scoop. Sign up today for a free 30-day trial and snag your first 3 audiobooks on the house. Sign up for your free trial at audiobooks.com/podcastfree today. That's audiobooks.com/podcastfree.